Now, the MEXT scholarship actually has two categories. That's the university recommended category and the embassy recommended category.
Hi viewers, and welcome to another episode of my scholarly journey. If you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And today I have the pleasure of speaking to Chioma. She had her undergraduate degree at the University of Nigeria, where she pursued her undergrad in analytical chemistry. She's currently a MEXT Scholar, and she just graduated with an MSc degree in bioanalytical chemistry. Today, she's going to share her journey with us from how she transitioned from Nigeria all the way to Japan. Welcome, Chioma.
Thank you very much, Cyril.
Yeah, can you just tell my viewers and myself a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Chioma Okeke. I'm a Nigerian currently living and studying in Japan. I did my preliminary education in Nigeria, my primary, my high school, junior high school, everything in Nigeria. And then I went ahead to do my Bachelor of Science in University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where I got my BSc degree from Pure and Industrial Chemistry. And then the following year, I did my National Youth Service, which is a compulsory 1-year service that we do in Nigeria to the nation. And in that 1 year, you're being posted to like something related to your field, something in that sort. So I was posted to a central research laboratory, which is a bit related to the chemistry field in general. And from there, I transitioned to Japan. I think that was the same year I transitioned to Japan to get my master's degree.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about your undergraduate degree.
Yeah.
You said you did industrial chemistry. Was it something you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, it's called pure and industrial chemistry, but most times we call it for short industrial chemistry.
Okay.
So we do all the courses in organic, industrial, analytical, and all that. About if it's what I wanted to study. Well, if you're from a very typical Nigerian home, this is a very familiar story of most times you growing up, if you're a child that seemingly does, I don't know, maybe you do well in school or something, you're already being called, oh, our doctor, our nurse, and all those kind of things, the professional courses in quotes. Well, I have nothing against those courses because they are beautiful and they're very good courses and nice. But then I didn't get admission that year because I didn't get the cutoff point I was comfortable with to pursue the course. Because in Nigeria, you actually write JAM and then you do the interview for the particular university you're pursuing. And so because I didn't get a good JAM score, I don't know if to say it wasn't good, but it wasn't as high as I planned or I read for. And so I changed to pharmacy, and then I didn't get pharmacy because I don't know why, because I really got a good interview score for the university. But then that was the year that I had to stay at home. And in retrospect, I was just thinking about life, what do I really want to do? I remembered a family friend of mine who made life out of industrial chemistry, and I didn't see anything wrong with it, except that it wasn't being mentioned amongst the courses that I knew from child, like what everybody calls you doctor and all that. And then I started to do 1 or 2 research about the course in general, and I really liked what I saw. And so that was when I decided, you know what, it's time to pursue this course. And I didn't want to do it in the city. I had already done all my other education. And so I moved to Enugu, which is where University of Nigeria is situated. And that was where I started my journey to being an industrial chemist.
Okay. And so you said for your National Youth Service, you were posted to a research lab. What did you do
Yes.
there, and did that experience help you or shape your decision to pursue a master's degree? Or right from your undergrad, you knew what you wanted to do in terms of graduate studies?
Well, I think that's a very nice question because right from BSc, I kind of just felt like, well, I want to go on to postgraduate studies and all that. But being in the Central Research Laboratory like made me want to do it even more. The Central Research Laboratory is the one that belongs to University of Lagos. So it's in the university setting. And so I got to meet postgraduate students, I got to meet companies, I got to meet organizations. The person really directly in charge of the laboratory is a professor. So working there, I did analysis, general analysis. I worked with some instruments. I just felt like I needed more of these. I needed more. I needed to go more into this. And so it stamped what I already had in my mind. That's how I'll put it.
Okay. So during your time there, did you write any paper or were you part of any research team?
No, it's not. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like we write papers there. We run analysis, so we have instruments, and you pay for the analysis most times. So it's like something added to the university to also help students, but also generate
Okay.
revenue, right? But very subsidized for students. So we have instruments, GCMS, AAS, HPLC, and all those kind of very good instruments that you use to run analysis. Now, it's not only used by the university, we have companies that come in to run analysis with our instruments too. So it's not like we're really writing papers there.
All right. Okay. And then how did you hear about the MEXT scholarship and even the school you went to? How did you hear about all of these?
Yeah, I get this question a lot. It comes in different ways. It comes in ways like why Japan? It comes in ways like how Japan. I get it a lot, and I think I'm interested in answering this question. Now, I got to know about Japan from my friend who happens to be a senior colleague, is David. And he's currently in Cambridge now, but he did his master's in Japan, coincidentally the same university. So he came here previously for like an exchange program during his undergraduate days. And that was when he realized that there was an opportunity for Nigerians or for anybody to come to Japan for their postgraduate. So he came for his master's and he made it like a point of duty to make sure that everybody that had masters in mind knew about Japan. Because I realized that not so many people talk about China, scholarships in China, scholarships in other Asian countries, but not so many people talk about the scholarships that are available here in Japan. And that's why it's not so awkward, but sometimes it's awkward when I hear why Japan. But yeah, I got to know about the scholarship from David. Some other Nigerians I met here, like 2 or 3 or more, actually got to know about Japan too through him. So he tried to spread the message, even though he's no longer here, but he really tried to spread the message and pass the baton down to so many people before leaving. So that was how I got to, it's actually on the internet, yes, but that was how I got to know about the MEXT scholarship.
Okay. And is it something that anyone with any background can apply to, or you have to be in the sciences?
Okay. Now, the MEXT scholarship actually has two categories. That's the university recommended category and the embassy recommended category. And for the university recommended category, it's more like the government has given them the power or everything to do their selection, to channel the money how they want to channel it, and all that and all that. And they only influence the government because MEXT is the government scholarship. The name is Ministry of Education and Tourism, so it's the government scholarship. Now, the only influence that the government has on the university is just to tell them the number of people they can afford to sponsor. And so most universities have, different patterns. There's no one formula for how universities choose. Now, some universities decide to channel the money to science. Some universities decide to channel the money to any department. Some decide, because example, if a university is already known top ranking for their research in science, most probably they want to channel that kind of funding to their science. If a university is known for, let's say, business administration, most probably they want to channel. So it differs from university to university. That's for the university recommended category.
Okay.
But for the embassy recommended category, I think it's open to everybody. So it just depends that the embassy does the selection process particularly. And so in the selection process, they have like an application guideline to tell you the department, the age limit, this, that. So, and this is particularly for countries that are in diplomatic ties to Japan. So I know most African countries are actually run the embassy recommended category, and there's no field I have not seen through that category. So many people come through the category, and even the university recommended, but it depends on the university too.
So which of the two did you get?
University recommended category.
All right. And so now let's talk about how you got to Japan.
Okay.
So when you applied for the scholarship, is it that once you get the offer or you get a scholarship, you're already assigned to a school, or you send a separate application to a school, and then you wait for the embassy to award your scholarship so you can attend that school?
Okay, it's actually varies. Now it varies because for the university recommended category, you are actually going through the university to get the scholarship. So you obviously have to have a place in the university before the university even tenders your name to the MEXT. So example is my university will have you to, get a professor who is willing to work with you. And then the departments at the department level, they set an exam for, because it's an international platform, right? Everybody can apply for it from any country. And then you write exams. And depending on the number of people they want to take that year and the cutoff point they have, which is not really public, then they get back to you qualified, and then they submit your name to MEXT. Now,
Okay.
but for the embassy recommended category, how it works is that they get you to put three different professors' name, like your choices. It could be the same school, it could be different schools, but they just get you to put three professors' name. And after putting the professor's name, you really don't need to get the admission. You really don't need to get the admission, but it's always good to at least get a professor who is willing to work with you. And then if you qualify, because they have exams, the embassy will set you an exam, interview, and all that. If you qualify and you're shortlisted and you're recommended to MEXT, and MEXT decide to give you the scholarship, they give you like a scholarship letter. It's a scholarship letter you use to secure admission in the university.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how it works for the different categories.
Okay. So I now understand. Initially, I thought you were saying that the universities in Nigeria are the ones that propose the name and send to
No,
the
no, no,
embassy.
no.
Oh,
Universities
okay.
in Japan.
Japan. Okay, I now get it.
University recommended categories in Japan.
Okay. So from your experience, is it that every university in Japan is eligible to nominate students for their scholarship, or there are some selected few universities?
Well, for me, I wouldn't say from experience, but I will speak from other people's experience. I have a friend that was doing that kind of research, and he found out that different universities, and it's basically by putting it on Google to search, and he found out that different universities have their different criteria, maybe based on ranking, different quota. Example, MEXT can decide to give University of Tokyo a quota of 10 people this year,
Okay.
but it may give the next university 6 people this year.
Okay.
And that and that and that. So from his experience and his findings, it varies from university to university actually.
Okay. And then the scholarship, what does it cover?
It covers your tuition fee, it covers your school fee, tuition fee, and your living expenses every month.
Wow, that's cool. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about your master's. What did you study in Japan? And can you just give us a brief overview of how that particular system works?
Okay, I studied bioanalytical chemistry. How it works is that if you're coming through the embassy recommended category, one of the exams they give you is Japanese language and English. And from what I heard from so many people, you really don't need to do well. You don't have to do well. They judge you based on other ones, not the Japanese. Japanese is just to place you to know, can you even speak? And if you cannot speak, maybe when you come here, you do like a 6-month Japanese course. That's for the embassy recommended category. But the people I know on that category are being taught in English. And for me here, university recommended category, I didn't have to take the language course for 6 months. I came and I started my research immediately and my classes immediately. And the university already, most universities that have this kind of funding or this kind of program already make rooms for the fact that these are international students. So your courses are in English, and you will most probably get a professor respond to you who is also comfortable with English in his laboratory, and he is also good in English. So I wouldn't say it's really not a problem when it comes to your coursework and your research work and all that. But learning the language is just probably for diversity's sake, for communicating with locals and other things, your daily activities, or just making close friendships with your lab mates, something like that. But it doesn't really interrupt your coursework.
Okay. And then let me go back a bit. So with the application, what does it really entail? Is it the regular transcripts and stuff, or you had to do some conversions of your GPA to a Japanese system? What did it really entail?
No, I didn't convert anything, actually. I didn't convert it. For the thing is, I'm now answering for two categories, right? So for the university recommended category, you just apply to the professor and get him willing to work with you, and then you're recommended for the next. You're giving, for some universities give you exam, some don't. It's what I got to find out. Some don't. They just do the normal scholarship selection process through your documents and all that. But I came through exam, right? Then
Okay.
for the embassy recommended category, you submit documents, and then if you're shortlisted, you're called in for an exam, which is usually English and Japanese. And then if you also scale through that phase, you're called in for an interview.
Okay.
And then if you, I think it's at that interview stage that if you're shortlisted, if you pass, they give you, like, I think, a certificate for the scholarship that you use to secure the admission. And then that also varies from school to school, because if you're going to get admission in a school that naturally wants all their graduate students to come through exam, you may still need to write an exam for the university.
Okay. So with your exam, where did you write it? Was it online?
Yes, no, not really online. I was in Nigeria at the time, but the professor that has shown interest to work with you is like your potential supervisor at that point, and they send the question paper to him. And so you people, and then you have a specific number of days that you have to choose from to write the exam.
Okay.
And then when you choose the exam and the time with the professor, he will invigilate you through Skype. So the Skype is running, and he sends you the question paper, you're printing it, he's looking, something like that, you're writing, he's supervising, and then depends on the hours they have slated for the exam. When it's exhausted, the call ends, the video ends, you submit, you scan it back and submit. Now I'm speaking for my university, right? I don't know how it applies to other universities, if they really write the exam, and if they do, how their exam process actually works.
So for your master's, you said you did it for 2 years, right?
Yes.
And so how long did it take you to do your research?
My course, how it works here is that the maximum or the minimum number of course points you can get in the first year of your master's. So I took all my classes in my first year, but it doesn't mean that you won't take research. I was also still going to the lab during that period, combining it with classes and all that. The only thing is that after your first year of classes, you proceed full time into the research.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so what's your research about? I'm curious because looking at your profile from LinkedIn, I noticed you got a patent, and so yeah, I'm interested. If you would want to tell me about that also.
Okay, my research is about influenza virus, influenza A virus precisely, and it's been in existence, and so it's, some people is like, why? What's happening? What is the problem? And all those kind of things. And the problem is this: influenza virus are known for genetic mutation, and that's the reason why we have antiviral drug resistance. Now, there are several classes of drugs that are used to treat the influenza virus, but most of these drugs are designed in such a way that they target proteins and in the influenza, in the virus. Now, but these proteins too are very, very known, like common in mutating. So this is the reason why there's this particular strain in circulation, especially in North America, that has successfully mutated a protein that the amantadine drug was targeting. And the virus is resistant to the drug because it's a new strain after successfully mutating. So my work is actually that I'm trying we have found a region that is not prone to mutation, that doesn't mutate. And it's not a protein and all that. So my work is I'm trying to find binders to this region that is going to, because most times when it binds the region, it brings, I'm trying to explain it as much as I can, but it breaches the sequence and so leads to death of the virus.
Okay.
So binders to this region are most times potential antiviral drugs.
Okay.
So I was able to design a binder, but the reason why it came out like it's a patent, like it's novel, is because the particular sequence is not one that has been done before. So my laboratory, not like me alone, my laboratory was actually like the first to design that sequence. It's a combination knowledge. We combined two things, and then we designed the binder that binded
Okay.
to this region that is not prone to mutation. Now, there's a lot of work that can still be done on the research. I wouldn't say that we finished it, but at least I designed a binder that binded tightly, and it didn't just bind tightly. It's the tightest binding non-aminoglycoside binder currently to the influenza A virus region I'm talking about.
I mean, when you look at your binder, was it able to indeed stop translation, etc., in that particular virus to kill it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that there's still a lot of work to be done
Oh, okay. So
on.
if not yet, all right, all right.
Yes, we've not yet done the like, and then at some point we'll have collaborate with the pharmacy department and the medical departments too.
So,
Mm.
all right, that's nice. All right. What do you have to say to people in Nigeria, people in Africa, that's African countries that are eligible to apply for this particular scholarship? What is your final take home for them?
What I would like to say is that you can be whatever you want, wherever you want to. It doesn't have to be the very specific countries that are popular, right? And I'm here to say that there are lots of opportunities you could tap into in Japan, especially the MEXT Japan government scholarship. It's very common and is fully funded by the government. So I would like to say that I know that Japan, most people come with the whole why Japan, how Japan, and all that. And so I'm trying my bit to make sure that you know that the opportunities are here. You can find schools that will teach you in English, and you can be what you want to be here. That's what I would say generally.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to share your story with me. And also with everyone watching me now, Chioma has a nice YouTube channel, and I'm going to post it in the link below, and you'll also see it as a suggested link. So please do well to visit her channel and subscribe to her channel also. Thank you, Chioma.
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you're doing here.
Right, thanks. All right.